What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. Today, we're going to have an interview with Kerry Grinkmeyer, a very intelligent, forward thinking mind. He is looking into several different spheres in the stock market, mainly surrounding artificial intelligence, technology, health, as well as other areas such as like natural resources and rare earth minerals. In this interview, we're just going to talk about the stock market, a little bit about what he thinks about crypto, but not really. This is mainly surrounding on a diversification. And Kerry, he is very strong in the space and has a very forward-thinking mind and sees a future where technology and artificial intelligence are definitely going to be king. On top of that, Kerry is also has a forward-thinking mind on what he sees as I guess you can call it a hedge fund, um, with a way where he has his own Discord channel and his own community with over 180,000 participants and users, where he comes up with very knowledgeable and different ideas that come available. So I highly recommend you guys take a look into the Best of Us investors. And without further ado, Kerry Green. Kerry, hey man, good to have you on the channel. And hey, I appreciate you taking the time to come out and give us a little chat. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Kerry.
Drake, I'm a retired financial advisor. I had a substantial financial planning practice as a part of the Ameriprise system and sold it in 2005 to my son, my daughter, and my nephew. And basically got on an airplane and started traveling the world with my wife and didn't really pay much attention to the stock market for a number of years. And then in 2014, we lost our daughter to cancer, and I became kind of hard to live with. And my wife suggested I find something else to do. Got into real estate. Real estate led me to video. Video led me to YouTube. And on November the 11th, 2019, I turned the direction of my YouTube channel into investing, which was my career, and got into managing my portfolio again. Um, as a result of that, I started doing a lot of reading. And as a financial advisor, you basically help people avoid tragedy, help them, whether it be life insurance or investments or savings or whatever, or estate planning. But you manage them towards the safety, and that involves diversification. I was in a position that I didn't really need the money that I had in my portfolio, so I decided I didn't want to travel the safe road. I wanted to basically invest in the future. So Drake, I would say, and that was in November. I graduated from college in 1966, and I doubt if I had really read a nonfiction book since then. And I just started reading, and the first book I read was Peter Zion's The Accidental Superpower, and it taught me how we got to where we are now as an economy, and not just a U.S. economy, but the world economy. And then I read another book by it's called The Big Nine, and it taught me about big data, and it taught me about the artificial intelligence. And then I read a book called The Future is Faster Than You Think. And it basically opened a curtain on a window for me and said, this is what the future is going to look like. And I said, that's what I want to invest in. At that point, I probably 99% of my portfolio was in Amazon, Google, Apple, Amazon, Facebook, Microsoft, the big stocks, the big data stocks.
Okay.
And then one of my tribe members convinced me to invest in Tesla, and I basically stayed there. until I saw the pandemic. And I realized the pandemic is the most important thing that happened in my life. Now recognize that I was alive in 1944, so we were coming out of World War II, and that was the most important thing that had happened in my life until March of 2020. And what I realized was the world was about to change, and there would be more change in the next 10 years than there was in the preceding 100 years. And if I could foresee that change, and invest in the companies that were going to facilitate that change, I could I could turn my $1 million into 10 million, maybe even $24 million. And I said, okay, I think I'll give that a shot. And because I believe that one of the reasons I'm on this earth is to make life better for those people who follow me. And then I realized that that's my family. What if I could share that knowledge with more people? And so that's what I started doing with my YouTube channel, sharing my knowledge, my experience, and saying, you're at a point in your life where you could make more money than you ever could, than you can on your own working, because you have the opportunity to invest in some of the best companies in the world, and some of the companies that are going to change the world. Now you're involved in cryptocurrency. I don't own any cryptocurrency because basically I don't understand it. I don't have faith in it. And the other side of it is, it's what's it selling for now? $58,000 a share.
That's for Bitcoin. So there's several
Yeah.
different other cryptocurrencies. So
Right.
it's similar to the stock market. Like you have Tesla that's in electric vehicles, and then you have like IBM, which is in data. It's the same thing with crypto. Bitcoin is quote unquote digital gold, and Ethereum is like the backbone of the internet, or the decentralized internet, if you think about it. It's kind of hard to
The issue
understand.
I have is, I guess it was Warren Buffett said for many, many years, if I don't understand it, I'm not going to invest in it. And the only and he was talking to Bill Gates when he said that. I don't understand what you do, Mr. Gates. So I'm not going to invest in your company. I still don't believe he owns any Microsoft. He does own Apple because he understands a phone,
Yeah,
but he doesn't understand the cloud, so he doesn't invest in it. And I think what Warren is saying is, I don't need to invest in it. I understand other things. And
right.
to my way of, and I subscribe to that same philosophy. I could spend a lot of time and become comfortable with cryptocurrency, but in order for me to double my money, it's got to go from 58,000 to 116,000.
Maybe for Bitcoin. But a lot of
Oh,
our
okay,
a
okay.
lot
And
of
I don't know. Let me stop my phone.
yeah, you're good.
Um, uh, I don't want to do that. So I look and I say, I understand biotech. I understand that the holders of the most wealth in the world, the baby boomer generation, has one real objective right now. They've
Right.
already got their McMansion. They've already got their beach house. They've already got their Mercedes and their Tesla or their Lamborghini. What they want now is lifespan. They want 10 more extra
It's
years.
true.
And with that in mind, they'll spend any amount of money that they can to get it. The other thing I recognize is they're still in power. They're still making the decisions every day. And that all you've got to look to is our past two presidents. They aren't even baby boomers. They're silent generation. They're ahead of
Right.
them, but they got a lot of money. You look at your Congress, it's made up of baby boomers. They're making the rules, if when they do get around to making any rules. Um, and they want to live longer. And we just got the shit scared out of us as a result of the pandemic. And we're saying this can never happen again. Not in my lifetime. This can never happen again. So we are screaming at technology to say, you find us an extra 10 years of quality of life. And that's what I want to invest in.
So what do you
The
think
other
about
thing,
blockchain then? Blockchain actually
you don't
helping that out.
understand it, Drake. I understand. I understand how they can go into my body and take cancer out of it. I understand that.
So I'll
I
explain a
understand how
little
that can
tidbit. I'll
happen.
explain a little tidbit of blockchain to you. So here's what they're currently doing on. So here's an example. There's a currency called Ariani. It's basically built on the Luxo blockchain. I know it sounds like something crazy, but let's just say there's this company that's built on another company. And basically what this company does is it has these QR codes that are on each and every package, and you can scan it with your phone, and it says, hey, it was made from this company, it was distributed here, it got its materials from here, it was in the storehouse for this many years, this person bought it, it was serviced on this and this date, it had this repaired on it, and all of that is listed on a public ledger, which is aka blockchain. How interesting would that be to you? So if you met up with someone, you're buying a Rolex on the secondhand market, and you aren't buying it from the actual person, you don't know if that Rolex is real. But now you can scan this QR code that basically says, hey, Johnny and Jeff own this. It was built from Rolex in 20 or 2000, and it was repaired 3 times, or nothing was wrong with it. It was entirely perfect. It was released from Rolex, and Johnny owned it for 20 years, and you're buying it from the first owner. So, I mean, you could see all that there.
Okay.
So now
That's
think
not
about,
important. That might be important to you and your generation, but it's not to me.
so think about
What's
medicine.
important to me, and I remember, I own most of the money in this world, my generation.
It's
What's
true.
important to me is lifespan. What's important to me is getting rid of that Porsche and that BMW in my garage that's costing me, that's $200,000 worth of depreciating asset that I only drive 5% of my waking hours, and put an Uber in my front yard that's a autonomous automobile, so that I'm not exposed to your generation texting on their phone, or drinking and driving, or dozing off and killing me on the highway. Remember, the only thing that's important to me right now is lifespan.
So
So
how about
your
this?
your blockchain isn't important to me. I got my Rolex. No, I got a Patek Philippe. I got my watch. I don't care. I
So
really don't
how
care.
about this? Okay, so I don't know if you've gotten vaccinated or not yet. That's fine.
Oh yeah,
How do you know those
I've
vaccines are
got.
real? How do you know it's
Hmm?
not just poison?
How do I know it's not poison? Because I
They
have a
tell you.
relationship with UAB Medical Center, and I go to a doctor on a regular basis, and my doctor called me and said, "Hey, we have the vaccine."
How do you
So
know the doctor wasn't paid off? How do you know it?
I
How do you
know
know it's
Stuart
not the
well. I've
government
known
who's trying
Stuart
to poison us? We don't know.
I've known Stuart for 20 years. Uh, okay, I'm sorry, Drake. Um, you're what you're talking about will be successful, but you're not going to convince me to invest in it.
Oh
I
no,
am
I'm
looking
not here
at.
to convince you. I'm actually here to. I was just kind of giving a tidbit of blockchain because
Sure.
everyone on my channel usually looks into cryptocurrency, and we need to talk about things other than blockchain because
Okay.
whether no matter how disruptive blockchain is to basically the world, it doesn't matter. There is a chance that it doesn't get adopted, and everyone needs to
Yeah.
know that. Same thing with technology. There is a chance that it doesn't get adopted. I mean, in
Well,
general, if the internet shuts down, well, all bets are off.
why, I don't think that's going to happen. The telephone was, I don't know when it was, it hasn't shut down. I don't think that's in the realm of possibility. But I do think that,
Well, what
again,
I'm
I
meaning is like
believe
war.
I invest based on events that I see happening. I know that our supply chain is broken. I know that we are dependent on China for rare earth elements, and my phone runs on rare earth elements. And if it had been a war that we were in, a biological war that we were involved in, we would have been shut down. We would have lost the war. So I recognize that the number two priority, other than my health, is that we get our supply chain back into the United States. If we
Blockchain's
don't
working
do
on
that,
that as well. It's pretty crazy.
if we don't do that, and China has already said that they will surpass us and they will become the number one economy in the world. Well, let's say they decided we want to do that next week, and they invented a new pandemic, a new virus, and then they invented a vaccine, and then they put 56 people on airplanes, flew them to the United States. They coughed all the way here. They got on our subways and our transit system, and they coughed the whole way here, got back on a plane, got off in China and took the vaccine, and they were okay. And then as we started getting sick, China said, okay, we'll give you the vaccine, but we want Texas. Why do they want Texas? Because they don't have any oil.
It's true.
What would we do? We'd say, okay, take Texas. And then they'd say, we want, oh, if you want rare earth materials, we want New York. What would we do?
No, that's what I'm saying, and it's massive too, because the supply chains are disrupted. It's so corrupt like this. Is
Not
we had a
disrupted, broken.
broken. So it very broken. So if you look at this, it happened just like 6 or 7 months ago. We had a influx of cows and pigs, and we didn't know what to do with it. But yet all the restaurants are shut down, and all the grocery stores were entirely empty. But yet we had an influx of animals, and we just had to kill them all. It's because the supply chain was broken. And that's also another use case. I'm not trying to harp on blockchain, but I'm saying there is a use case for that, and there's several companies working with them to be able to integrate. And when issues happen like that, everything's organized on the blockchain, so you can just say, okay, we'll reroute from restaurants to retail, just automatically, because you know where everything's organized.
Oh, I think you and I are on the same page. Technology is taking over, and if you don't invest in it, you're going to be left behind. And so I think we're on the same page. We're just reading a different column.
That's why I want to hear your insights on what companies are you looking at, and how do you, that actually goes straight into what I was going to ask you. Exactly. I wrote it down. So how do you research, and how do you pick the stocks that you pick?
That's a very good question. And the answer to that question is I have a team of people who advise me. I have a Discord. On that Discord right now, there are 18,000 people. I have invited them to come and share their information and their knowledge. Much as I looked at it and said, people are relying on me to share my information, my knowledge, and my research. And I said to myself, what if I could get 18,000, 50,000, 100,000 other people to share their knowledge with me? And then I could create a group of people that would sift through all that information and pick the cherries. Okay. And so I formed within our Discord an investment committee. And it's 7 people who have taken on the task to sift through the suggestions of the 18,000 and come back with the best of our picks. The best of our picks last week was Mountain Pass Mining, MP.
Look at that real quick while we're talking.
And it is the largest deposit. They own the largest deposit of rare earth materials in the Western Hemisphere. Right now, we get our rare earth materials from China. And that's got to change. Both Trump and Biden has said MP is a security necessity. So I bought 500 shares of that this week. Would I have found that on my own? No. My investment committee gave it to me. They have now given me another stock that I'm looking at that's involved in providing the software to biotech laboratories that give them the artificial intelligence that they need to speed up the process of finding drugs to remove disease from our bodies. So would I have ever found that on my own? No.
Which one is
not
that?
At all.
That one sounds interesting.
So you'll learn about it if you come to my channel.
I've been watching it, man. I was watching you when you had 2K subs. You're killing it now. What do you have?
I know you do.
150?
I know you're one of my early fans. And I miss your criticism too.
Hey, it's hard to criticize you anymore. I can't really criticize it.
Okay. So you asked me how I pick my stocks. I have 50% of my portfolio in what I call the big six, the big data companies. I then allocate the other 50% of that portfolio to the companies that are going to change the way I live. And that used to be robotics, 3D printing, biotech, 5G, and big data. And then, as a result of my investment committee, I have rare earth elements added to it. Again, would never have done it on my own. Would not have even thought of it, but they taught me. So what I've done and what I want to do is change from the concept that you can go to YouTube and you can click on Meet Kevin and you can learn everything Meet Kevin knows. And then you can go to Graham Steffens and you can learn everything he knows. And then you can go to Stock Mo and you can learn everything he knows. Well, you have now covered what, 4 people? Why not make it 50,000 and put it on one channel?
I would like that. That would be interesting.
Why not have best of us investors? And I've got somebody, because you didn't raise your hand and say you wanted to do. Jim Wells does 3 videos a week on cryptocurrencies. I'm looking for somebody to come and do videos on my channel for dividend stocks, for financial planning, for how to invest your money such that you keep more of what you make by understanding your tax code. I would like to create a channel that's not all about Kerry, because Kerry's 76 years old. He's starting to lose his mind, you know.
What? Starting? You're already losing it.
You recognized it 6 months ago. So I want to create a source where you can come, and if you've got a question, you can at least have a starting point. I think the idea that you can go to 1, 2, 5 YouTube channels and get all the information you want from one person at a time is ludicrous. You know ARK Invest and Kathy Woods, don't you? Okay. Do you think everything is out of her head?
No way.
No. Does she have a group of people? I as best as I can determine, it's somewhere less than 20, but more than 10 who advise her. Yeah. That dig in. Well, why wouldn't you do that on a YouTube channel?
Interesting. No, they have several funds. Like a good example is Stansberry Research. They do the similar concept, but you got to pay for it. So it's kind of like,
well, at my channel, we have a Patreon, and it's $10 a month. Well, hell, if you can't make $10 a month off of the knowledge of 50,000 people, then there's something wrong. Come
I mean, it's
on.
just $10. All you got to do is skip a meal or skip lunch
Just
one
don't have
day.
a cup of
You're good.
Starbucks coffee.
That's what I'm saying. It's
Make your
worth it.
own coffee.
Yeah.
So that and why am I doing this? Um, I guess because I enjoy it and I enjoy sharing. I enjoy talking to people like you. I enjoy getting an email that says you've changed my life. I can now sleep at night because I now know why I own what I own. Wow, that's a revelation, isn't it?
It's crazy.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what I do, why I do it, and I enjoy it, and I hope, as I said, we're in a. I'm reading a book right now called 2030, and he points out and the reason I like the book was it was actually written in 2020, so it's current. This author is aware of the pandemic, and as he says, we're in a sharing society. There are a lot of baby boomers who didn't save enough money who are now okay because they have an Airbnb, um, and mom makes breakfast for the guest, and dad leaves the house and becomes an Uber driver. What are they doing? They're sharing their house and they're sharing their car. And if dad isn't good at that, he then goes into what is it called, TaskRabbit, and he comes to my house and paints my garage door. And so he has a gig economy, and that's where the way the world is going. People are sharing what they've got, and that's what I'm doing, and that's what I'm encouraging you to do, and what I'm encouraging other people to do, and then monetize it. And maybe, just maybe, it'll be better than your day job.
That's
Yeah,
true. It's true.
yeah.
I mean, depends. Well, obviously, it depends on your day job. If your day job's Subway, then of course it's going to be way better.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm making more as a YouTuber than I did as a financial advisor.
Oh yeah, your channel's growing. You're doing an awesome job, man.
But
Really good.
that's insane,
It
Drew.
is. It
That's
is.
insane. I could help as a financial advisor. I had 2,000 clients. Okay. As a YouTuber, I've got 150,000.
It's crazy.
That is no, it's not crazy. It's adapting to the world that you're in, to paying attention to the world you're in and adapting to it. And that's what I admire about you. You're adapting to it. You're recognizing there's something more here that can end up being something that I actually enjoy. I didn't enjoy being a financial advisor because I'll never forget in 2020 when a guy said to me, if I was half a man, I'd come across the table and beat the shit out of you because you put me in all those .coms. And I said, but wait a second, that's what you asked me to do when you saw all those .coms taking off. He said, yeah, but you should have stopped me. I didn't enjoy that. but
That's
but
funny.
here, as people say to me, in fact I got an email today. Everything that you suggested that I bought, I'm down 20% in. Okay, that's all right.
Yeah,
But
everything's getting a nice retracement right now. We've seen it in the markets. So
and that's
speaking
okay.
of retracements and picks, how do you pick, like, because for example, if you're looking at rare earth, or even just like software or SaaS stocks, how do you choose which one to pick? Because I mean, there's so many in each category. It's hard.
Because I have 7 guys who do the research and share it with me.
But how
And
do they
when
pick them?
and they feed me information. And when the guy said to me at our meeting, when he said they hold the largest deposits of rare earth elements in the Western Hemisphere. When he said that, I was sold. Because I remember as a senior in high school, I had to memorize the periodic chart. And I remember those rare earth elements down on the second to the bottom line. And I also remember Elon Musk saying, we don't have enough for the future. And that's why I want to go to Mars, because I'm confident those rare earth elements are on Mars. And I know that they are essential for us to move forward in the electronics world that we want to have. So when he said that, the largest deposit in the Western Hemisphere, I knew I had to own it.
Let's see.
And when I learned that CRISPR, and I sat down with the head of the O'Neill Cancer Clinic at UAB, and he explained to me that CRISPR, the product CRISPR, is already working in my body, that my body, at the rate of 60 million changes to cells, happen in my body per hour. So I have mechanics running around in my body doing what CRISPR does. The problem is they are called T cells. The problem is they don't recognize a cancer cell or a Alzheimer's cell as bad. So CRISPR comes in and educates them that they're bad, get rid of them. Once I understood that, and that it could go into your sperm and her egg, and there would never again be cancer in your lineage, I said, I have to own that.
CRISPR is CRISPR Therapeutics, right?
Right. It is going to change, it is going to eliminate cancer from once my granddaughter has her egg sequenced or changed, and his sperm, cancer will no longer be in my lineage. My grandfather died of cancer, my mother died of cancer, my father died of cancer, and my daughter died of cancer, and I will die of cancer.
So if that's, it seems like it's manipulating DNA.
Exactly.
How do we know the ramifications of that though?
Oh, we don't.
So what if it makes it worse?
We do. We know that you will go marry a tall blonde girl, and you will go to a fertility clinic, and you will say, okay, from shelf A, I want a 6'3" tall young man with massive body muscle development. I want his feet to be extra long so he can play basketball, because obviously you are interested in basketball.
Yeah, I don't know. They got a bunch of jerseys behind me.
And I want him to be an extraordinary basketball player, and you will manipulate his genes. And the problem is that is you're rich and I'm not, and I can't afford that off of shelf A. So is there a problem? Yeah. And will there be some ramifications we don't like? Yeah. And will we have to control it? Yeah. But will anybody object to off of shelf D, I want no cancer in my children. I want no heart disease. I want no Alzheimer's. For African American people, I want no sickle cell anemia. Will anybody argue with that? Will the insurance companies pay for it? Yeah, they will. So why wouldn't I today in 2021 invest in it? I'd have to be stupid not to.
That's interesting. Interesting way to think about it. But I do got to make this note. God made us the way we're made, and coming out of it, I mean, a lot of good things actually do
God
come out of,
also
like,
gave you a brain
He did.
to make your life better.
He did.
I mean, are you Christian Scientists?
Oh, no. What I was just trying to say this. I was just trying to say this is, a lot of times actually God does things to make a story almost better is my thought. So for example, if someone who was handicapped or didn't have a hand, or he was missing his legs, and he was telling you how you had to work hard and he made so many accomplishments and he didn't have legs, but yet you had another guy right next to him who had legs, had the same accomplishments, it would be more of an enticing story to listen to that guy without legs, to hear how he came through and how he pushed through that. So I think God puts things like that in our life for that reason. But just a side note, just kind of wanted to
Okay.
say that. But what you're saying is it's crazy. It is very true. People like to live longer. They like to live better. They want all this, and it's interesting. I'm sure you've seen a movie called Ready Player One. If you
No.
haven't, it's basically like a digital life, and most people are already living it in their cell phone. People are fat, ugly, and they want to go in this second world and be sexy, skinny, and whatever. I mean, if you think about it, it's like, well, we already live in a digital world. Might as well just go in there the rest of our life. They
No.
have a couple games. You've probably heard of Second Life, right?
No.
Yeah, look up Second Life and then look up Ready Player One. Those
Ready
are
Player One. Okay.
Ready Player One. Watch that movie. Sit down with your kids or ask your kid about it. He's like, "Yeah, that's the best movie ever." It'll kind of your future. You're a futurist. It'll kind of send you on a journey. It's
In
pretty
fact,
cool.
my grandson is coming tomorrow, and I'll ask him if he's seen it, and if he hasn't, we'll watch it. We'll
Do
watch
Ready
it
Player
anyway.
One with him. He'll love that movie.
Okay. All right, Drake. Uh, Great talking with you.
No, hey, I appreciate you coming on the channel. And lastly, I want to ask you, what stocks should we be looking at right now, especially with the market taking a downturn right now? Is it now? Is it time to invest, or should we sit back and wait a bit?
I didn't. I'd ask you to tune in to list. Do you know who Jamie Dimon is?
Yeah.
Okay. This morning he put out a letter to a 66-page letter to his stockholders, and he basically spelled out what I believe is going to happen, and that is that we are going to have a rally, a rallying stock market at least through 2023, and that our country has some tasks in front of it. Number one is to answer China's challenge and invest in our infrastructure, invest in the things I've just been talking about, and rise to the occasion. We're getting beat up severely. Technology is, if you would go to Beijing, China right now, you would say we are behind in China. They are already, they don't use currency.
Yeah, they
Everything is
use.
paid for
Yeah.
with your phone. They don't have the restrictions we have. And so I just tell people, rather than what to invest in, read. Come to my channel, and in the description, I have a library. Go to my website, bestofusinvestors.com, and read nonfiction books. It just blows my mind that there's a guy who was very involved in cryptocurrency who paid $33 million to have lunch with Warren Buffett. You can buy his book for $30.
Well, it's not the same. I'd love to
Oh,
talk with
it
Warren
is.
Buffett.
You'll learn more from his book. He's got 6 books.
Yeah, but I'd
Come
love to
on.
meet that guy. That's. I mean, he's crazy, crazy knowledge.
He is. He is. But no, just read, um, and open your mind up, not so much as to what's happening in the stock market today, because you can't beat those guys.
Right.
I like to use the comparison. I could go to Las Vegas and go to the back of the casino where that big room is, where
I've
there's
heard
10
this one.
guys, 9 guys sitting at a poker table, and I could sit down and they just beat the shit out of me because they know the game. Well, then why would I think that I could compete with Wharton College graduates, with quantum computers, with hedge fund managers in the stock market. Why would I think I could compete with them on a day-to-day basis? I don't want to. I know they don't read. They haven't read the books I've read. So I can beat them there on the long term. They don't know. They don't know what they don't know what I just described to you about CRISPR and edits. They don't know it.
That's true. So you
They
so the
don't know it.
all-time
So
so being at
so
all-time highs doesn't scare you at all?
hmm?
All-time highs doesn't scare you at all?
No, hell
Nothing?
no. Drew, we or Drake,
Right.
we have pumped it last year. We pumped almost $8 trillion into our economy. $8 trillion that did not exist before March of 2020 came into our economy. Where did it end up? Where does it have to end up? It trickled through people's hands, and it finally ended up in somebody's pocket who didn't need it. He didn't need it to pay his mortgage, didn't need it to pay his auto loan, didn't need it for anything. So what did he do with it? He invested it. Why do you think we've had so many SPACs? Why do you think Serena Williams is sponsoring a SPAC? There's $10 trillion in our economy that wasn't in our economy a year and a half ago. And Joe just committed, he's going to put another 2 trillion and then another 3 trillion. Now we're up to 5 this year. Where's that money going to go?
It makes
It
sense
has to
because I
go
mean,
somewhere. It isn't going to disappear.
it
It's
makes
going to
sense.
end up in stocks, which means we're going to bid the price higher. When they shut off the printing press, run for the exits. But until then, go.
So when that does happen, or actually maybe the currency may just be dissolved and just no longer have it. I don't know. Who knows what will happen? But it's kind of like, okay, so when that happens, what do you cash out into?
Probably Bitcoin. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. So you have
I
all these
don't know,
stocks.
Drake. I don't know. But it's not going to happen, at least for the next until the end of 2023. I don't know. But I do know what's going to happen between now and then, between now and 2023. This stock market's going to rally. And it's going to be driven by events. Number one event, the corona crisis. Number two event, broken supply chain. Those are the two things that I need to focus on for the next 3 years to make a buttload of money.
Hmm. I heard about
It's just and when Joe finishes his $3 trillion worth of infrastructure build, there will be something else.
I
It
heard
took us 200 years to accumulate $4 trillion worth of debt. That was in 2000. We're now $4 trillion
I know.
worth of debt. It's now 2021. Go to usdebtclock.org and you will see we're at 28 trillion, from 4 to 28 trillion in 20 years. Took us 200 years to get to 4. That money has to go someplace. It's just like water. If it rains for 40 days and 40 nights, you better have a raft. Okay? Going back to
You
Noah's
gotta have an
Ark.
ark, not a
An ark.
raft.
Okay? That's interesting. Ark Invest. Okay.
Hey, there you go.
There you go. You better have an ark because it's going to settle someplace. And it has settled in the stock market. And because Amazon, Google, Apple, Facebook, and Tesla couldn't absorb it all, we got SPACs.
I see.
Because it couldn't absorb it all, we got cryptocurrency. It has to go someplace.
Huh.
It has to.
Yeah, no, I believe you
free.
in like crazy technology and supply chains. That's interesting. I mean, a good example of the supply chains was the semiconductors for cars.
Yeah.
Did you make a play on that?
No.
Oh.
No. Remember, I only biotech. No, I didn't see that coming, but I don't have to.
That's true.
You know, we too many of us want to be a generalist and want to participate in everything. That's why I don't need to participate in cryptocurrency. I know what I know. I know what I know. I want to be a surgeon. I don't want to be an auto mechanic. You know, I know what I know. And I'll just continue to try to learn more about it. Okay, I got to take my wife to lunch.
All right, man. Hey, I always close it out with a wisdom one-liner on my channel. I'm gonna leave us with a wisdom one-liner. This we're in Proverbs right now, but it's just a quick one-verse thing. Just kind of read it and see what you think about it. But we're in Proverbs chapter 28, verses 21, and it's going to be, to show partiality is not good, yet a person will do wrong for a piece of bread. So, good quick wisdom one-liner. So, it's in Proverbs if you want to. Yeah, I can read it again if you want.
There's a lot of truth to that.
Yeah, to show partiality is not good, yet a person willing to do wrong for a piece of, yet a person will do wrong for a piece of bread. So it's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But Kerry, we can learn more about you on your YouTube channel on The Best of Us, right?
Best of Us Investors.
Best of Us Investors. I'll leave a link in the description below.
Okay.
I guess if anyone has questions, I'll probably forward them over to you if they want to learn more about you, and I'll probably redirect them to you. So,
all right,
Kerry,
Drake,
appreciate you coming on and having you on the channel.
My pleasure. Nice seeing you again.
See you, Kerry. Thanks for watching, guys. If you guys are new to the channel, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button and hit that bell notification. That way you guys can be ahead of the game every time we make a new video. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Guys, I need you guys to do a couple of things. Participate in the quadruple threat. First, set up a Celsius account. Here's a referral link. You guys can use it. Write it down. Type it down. Or you guys can use the link in the description below. Set up a Celsius account. Good for savings. Good for earnings. Don't bet the house on it though. But anyways, you guys can get a free bonus on this. Alright, how do I get this free bonus? Well guys, enter in this link. You guys will get $30. Then deposit $200 in any cryptocurrency. Enter in new 40, like NEW 40 promo code. You guys can use both. And you'll get a total of $70. Guys, that's step one of the triple threat. Alright, Drake, I did step one. What's step two? Alright, guys, this is where you can get your small altcoin gems and little game changers. You guys can go to crypto.com. You can set up an account. Here's a link in the description below, or you guys can just type in this code right here on the screen. Deposit some funds in there. You get $25 in bonus crypto. You guys can use that to buy your altcoin gems and have some fun. Step two of the triple threat, or I'm sorry, quadruple threat. And the third one, this one is a fun one, Voyager. This one is more so where you can buy with limit orders. It doesn't have as many altcoins as crypto.com, but it's really easy to use, easy to set up. And yes, this one does come with a referral link as well, and you'll get $25 in BTC. This is how you can do a limit order. Super easy to use, and they don't charge any trading fees whatsoever. Here's the referral link. You can't copy and paste it, but you can look in the description to copy and paste, and you can put that in and set one up. 25 bucks. Step 4, open up a BLOCKFI account. Here's a link you guys can use. The reference code is 024FFE02. All the links are in the description below. Open up a BLOCKFI, just deposit some funds, and you'll get $30 in BTC. And you can also get that crypto cashback rewards card. Don't forget about that. Game changer, 1.5%. And the first few months, you get a bunch of extra percent. Check it out. This is the funnest one though. Lolly, free. There is a referral link to this one too. I've actually won 100,000 sats one time on one of the taps, which is worth like $100 in Bitcoin. So it's crazy. Look, and there's even proof in the wallet. Look at that, daily stack 101. Guys, set one up. It's really easy to do. Download a Lolly account and just set it up. And of course, guys, if you guys are a pro, there's a link in the description so you guys can sign up with KuCoin and Binance US to get some trading fee discounts. Thanks.